Shabbat Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shabbat Shalom. Thank y'all for joining us today. This is Reaching All People Ministries. Reaching All People Ministries. I'm Brother Jeremiah. Some of you may know me as Brother Ronnie. But thank everybody for joining us today. We are back. We back in the house. You know, we was off. Well, we weren't off. We turned this music down some. We weren't on the air last week. We see you, Auntie. Shabbat Shalom to you. Sister Erica, Ariyahu, Shabbat Shalom to you. We just thank everybody for coming on out today. We got a great teaching for you today. It's just glad to be back on the air today. Glad to be back on with you guys today. You know, this is the Shabbat. This is his set apart day that he hung in creations millennia ago. Give everybody a few minutes to get on in here. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get on in here. See your sister Yani, Shabbat Shalom to you. And baby Charlotte, Shabbat Shalom to you. We see you guys. I see we got 9 in the room. Give everybody a little bit more time. Rosetta Stone, we see you. And I should go ahead and say that Jackson's are not going to be here today. They called me last night and let me know what was going on. So we just pray that the Most High keep them uplifted. Nothing bad going on or anything, but brother and sister Jackson won't be here today. So, you know, they will be with us in our hearts. They'll be with us in our hearts. And just like to say, on last weekend, thank everybody that came on out and was a part of the mikvah, the baptisms. We baptized 23 folks. 23 people were baptized. That's amazing. We just did one of the commands of our Messiah. He said, go and make disciples of all nations and baptize them in the name of Yahushua. That's what we did. Had a great, mighty time in the Most High. Had a little teaching. Went out, baptized, and ate and fellowship with one another. It was so great. So just thank everybody that was a part of that. And, you know, just thank the Most High that everybody was safe. It was a safe, good time. And I'm going to put the baptism teaching, not that one, because it's it's a lot of commentary that was in that one, but I'm going to put up one this Wednesday. It won't be live. I'm going to record it. Hopefully, I'm going to record it and put it up by Wednesday so everybody else can hear that message as well. So just thank everybody that took part in that. And it was a great and marvelous time. I want to thank Elder Jeff, Deacon Jeff, for coming out and helping with the baptisms, you know, just helping. All right. And Brother David as well. But we see you. We see everybody out there. We see you, Elder Henry. I know you out there listening. But we're going to go ahead. I ain't going to waste no more of your good Sabbath time today. Just so glad to be back on the air today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease. I'm going to turn this music off. I'm going to decrease that he may what? Increase. That he may increase. So let me add that to the stream. It's going to be a great message for you today. And some people may look at the title. Oh, I already know about that. You don't know. If you've been with me long enough, I'm going to bring some stuff all the way out today. It's going to be all the way out today. Hit that like button, guys. It helps the ministry out tremendously. Thank you for watching. I'm excited about this teaching. And what we do know, guys, is that actually tomorrow is the last day of the Olympics. Brother Runny always, you said, Brother Runny, every time, Brother Jeremiah, every time we come to your channel, you always telling us something that we shouldn't be partaking in. I'm telling you, it ain't me. It's the Most High. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about the Olympics. We're going to talk about the origins of the Olympics. The origin of the Olympics. So before we do, I forgot to put the verse up here, but this is Revelation 12 and 9. 12 and 9. And let's just go ahead and read it. And it says, "And the great dragon," that's Satan, "was cast out, that old serpent, called the what? The devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world." He deceived who? The whole world. But you said, Brother Rodney, we in the world. No, we're not of this world. We like Christ. He said, I am from above. They are from beneath. He said, my kingdom is not of this world. And that's the kingdom we are part of. So we're not deceived. So he deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were what? Were cast out with him. So the serpent has everybody deceived. Everybody today when the Olympics roll around, oh yay, the Olympics. It comes around every 4 years. Every 4 years. All right. So then we're going to go to Leviticus real quick. The Olympics, yay! Me too. I used to be a big proponent of the Olympics. I'll watch it from beginning to end. But we're going to show you, if you do, what you are partaking in today. And it says Leviticus 19, 1 through 4. And the Most High, Yahweh, spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel. Luca not here today. Oh, I just realized she's not here today. Maybe she'll be on in. But it says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I, Yahweh, your God, am holy. He's holy. Guess what we want to be? We want to be holy. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father. Fear your mom and your dad. Respect your mom and your father. And he said, and what? And keep my Sabbaths. I am Yahweh, your God, your Elohim. Turn not unto what? Turn not unto idol. Brother running the Olympics is idols? Maybe. Stick around to see. Nor make to yourself molten gods. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. Deuteronomy chapter 12. We're going to go 29 through 32. Watch this. When Yahweh thy Elohim shall cut off the nations from before thee, whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their land, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by what? By following them. After that, it said, after that, they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou, you, Most High said, you, my people, he said that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God. So, however they worship their gods, the Most High said, don't worship me in that way. Oh, we know Christmas pagan, but we doing it to Yeshua. No, he said, don't worship me the way that they worship their gods. He said, thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God. Don't do it. There she is, Sister Luca. There you go. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you. But the Most High said, however they do with their gods, don't do that to me. For every abomination to Yahweh, which he hated. He hate those abominations. We're going to see, does the Olympics fall into that? We're going to see. Have they done to their gods? For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods. What things soever I command you observe, he said, observe to do it. Whatsoever thing I command you, he said what? Observe to do it. Thou shalt not what? Add thereto or nor diminish from it. A couple more before we get on into this teaching. Oh, yes, the baptism was a blessing. Baptized 23 people. Praise the Most High. We had a wonderful time, a wonderful time, wonderful time. Uh, let me see. Oh, okay, she's talking to Sister Erica. But watch this, Deuteronomy 32 through 18. But Jeshurun, that's another way to say Israel, waxed fat and kicked. What does wax fat mean? They was prosperous, they were rich and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he who Jeshurun Israel forsook the Most High, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with what? With strange gods. If you're dealing with Olympics, you dealing with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto what? Devils or demons. But we gonna keep it moving. All right, because what do I gotta do? What I gotta show you today? The Most High will not share his glory. Isaiah 42:8. He said, I am the Most High. I am Yahweh. That is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to what? Graven images. You said, Brother Ronnie, what they got to do with the? Keep on listening. Keep on listening. We about to get into it. 1 Kings 18:21 through 22. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long will you be between two opinions? Let's see what's going on. Oh yeah. We pray for a speedy recovery. Speedy recovery. It says, and Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long shall ye be between two opinions? I'm asking you that today. How long you gonna be between two opinions? If the Most High be God, what? Follow him. You can't follow two. You can only follow one. But if Baal, that ain't none but Satan, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Then said Elijah unto the people, I, even I, only remain a prophet of Yahweh, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Sometimes I feel like that it's just me against the world. Like Tupac, it's just me against the world. No, but I got to keep telling the truth. Let's go to Exodus 21 through 7, and we're going to get it on in these Olympics. It says, and Moses spake all these words. No. It says, praise the Most High that you have recovered. Praise the Most High. Praise him. He has healing power. He can heal anything. Anything? Yes, anything. AIDS? Yes, AIDS. Cancer? Yes, cancer. He can heal everything. But it says, and God spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thou Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Now, some people say, oh, look what it see. It said no other gods before me. He said we can have other gods. They just can't be before him. No, that's not what that means. That means you can't have nobody but him. But watch this. I'm going to show you that. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh, thy Elohim, is a what? He says, I'm a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And who do he show mercy to? And show mercy unto thousands of them that what? That love me and what? Keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him. Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. But it says no other gods before me. All more modern translations, most translations said, you must not have it. I love the New Living Translation. It said, you must not have any other God but me. Woo. And a lot of them do say before me, but watch this. Down lower, Christian Standard Bible said, do not have other gods besides me. Do not have Holman Christian Standard Bible besides me. American Standard say before me. The Aramaic Bible in plain English says, "You shall not have other gods outside of me." I like contemporary. Drop all the way to the bottom. It says, "Do not worship any God except me." Mm. Well, watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna tell you, the Olympics is the worship of Zeus. What? No, it ain't, Brother Ronnie. Yes, it is. And I'm gonna show you today. So I'm gonna show you today. Zeus is in your Bible, and it's not good for him. Oh, we gonna show you. But today we're gonna be coming from two articles right here. This one right here is from Hebraic Heritage Ministries International. They have an article, and if you want it, you can email me and I'll give you the article. It's a great article. And then another one is called "The Pagan Origins of the Olympic Games," and you can go to their website that you see right there to get this article. So let's go over the history of the Olympics. So we're gonna read. You know, I just know y'all know that when you come here, you're gonna get a plethora of knowledge and information. All you have to do is read. That's the thing we don't want to do. But here at Rap Ministries, Brother Ronnie, what I do is I do the leg work for you. So that way you got it all before you, and all you gotta do is check behind me. I don't mind. But watch this. The history. It says the ancient Olympic Games were primarily part of a religious festival. A what? A religious festival. A what? A religious festival in honor of who? Zeus, the chief deity of the Greek gods and goddesses. But the Most High said, "Don't have no other gods before him or besides him or except him." It says the chief deity of the Greek gods and goddesses. The festival and the games were held in Olympia, Greece, located near the sanctuary of Zeus. The sanctuary was named after Mount Olympus, the highest mountain in mainland Greece. This sanctuary was one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. I got a teaching coming out on the seven ancient wonders of the world, and gonna show you some of them in the Bible, and how the Most High was not pleased with this. Yeah, oh, I'm telling you, all praises to the Most High, Sister Luca. Break this stuff, break it down like break dancing. Whoop whoop, come back up, pow, to the left, to the right. I'm trying to tell you. But watch this. But I'm gonna do a teaching on the seven wonders of the ancient world and how they what did it do? It said the seven wonders of the world of the ancient world, and it housed a 45-foot high ivory and gold statue of Zeus. I'm gonna do a teaching on that for real, guys. I'm putting it together now. It was elliptical in the shot. Matter of fact, I got about 5 or 6 teachings. I work on one here, work on one there, work on. Then I still got a book full, but I can't just teach them when I want to teach them. I go by the leading and guiding of the Most High, right? The Spirit guides me as to what to teach. But they had a 45-foot high ivory and gold statue of Zeus. It was elliptical in shape and consisted of an elevated base approached by steps. It says, from the base rose a large mound made of the ashes of the thighs. Watch this, that the thighs of victims, usually bulls or oxen, sacrificed to Zeus. The whole height of the altar was what? 22 feet. The idea was that the gods were present at the festival and took delight in the various contests and exercises. The objective of the games is to unite the world in a common sporting event, all ignorantly paying homage to the unknown spirit with offerings and worship. All nations and athletes are unknowingly participating in pagan rituals that they have been used to worship Zeus. Paganism and pagan gods are receiving credibility, especially through the opening and closing ceremonies. That's where the stuff is. That's what the main worship of Zeus is, in the opening and the closing ceremonies of the Olympics. All you gotta do is just go to YouTube and do opening and closing ceremonies, and if you are studied in a lot of this stuff, you will see it'll jump off the screen at you. But watch this. But guess what it said? It said they are unknowingly. That's why today I'm going to tell you so you can know. So if you say I ain't know, now you know. Cause if you don't know, now you know. Like Biggie, you gonna know after today. But it says, let's go down. It says from people. I'm not trying to get on people. I'm not saying I know more than you. You are beneath me. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just, my job is to give you the information. And you say, and I waited to the last. I ain't want to bust up nobody fun, so that you will have 2 to 4 years, depending if you watch the Winter Olympics, to decide. Am I gonna keep celebrating? You got 4 years, 2 to 4 years to decide what you gonna do. I'm trying to tell you. But watch this. From a very young age, all children all over the world devote their lives to their respective sport so that they can compete. I used to say I was going to be in the Olympics one day. We had a swimming pool growing up, above ground pool. I could do backflips trying to do the same things that they were doing. Swimming laps. No, I ain't nothing. 5 foot nothing. You ain't finna be no Olympic swimmer, boy. Quit playing. I think I'm gonna be racing against some Michael Phelps, 6'6", man. But anyway, kids dream of that. Watch this. It said in China, potential young children are actually taken from their parents and trained by the government. The parents are allowed to see them only 2 times a year. These games have become the god of all the athletes. Little do they know that god is who? Zeus. We're going to skip to the other article, and I hope you can see this. If you can't, just listen. It says the total entertainment package. It said the Olympic Games are one of the most highly anticipated events in the sports world today. The games are a huge event, attracting athletes from nearly every country. The Olympics ain't nothing but the Feast of Tabernacles for Satan. That's his Feast of Tabernacles. I'm telling you. But what? Nearly from every country, although it has turned into a marketing and merchandising behemoth, the original purpose of the Olympics game was a far less secular one. During the early years of the Olympics, events were held not as the way to collect multi-million-dollar endorsements, but to honor the gods of ancient Greece. The early Olympics have been called the Total Entertainment Package by Tony Perrottet, author of this guy. He wrote a book called The Naked Olympics: The True Story of the Ancient Games. The games featured art, poetry readings, writers, plays, painters, and sculptors. There were street shows including fire eaters, jugglers, acrobats, and palm readers. Witchcraft. Let's see. This same article is going to tell you about what? Honoring Zeus. For the citizens of Greece, the Olympics were a time of great religious celebration. That's what the other article said. Athletic events were mixed with what? Watch this. It was mixed in with sacrifices, rituals, and prayer, as well as a great feasting and revelry. For over 1,000 years, the games were held every 4 years, just like they are today, which made them not only the longest running athletic event in history, but also one of the longest running regular religious observation. The games were originally held in honor of Zeus, like the other article said, king of the Olympians. The very first games consisted of only one athletic event. It was a foot race, which was won by a cook named Coroebus. Athletes made regular sacrifices to Zeus, typically pigs or sheep, but pigs. But other animals would do as well, in hopes that he would recognize them and honor them for their skill and talent. See, the Most High don't take pig sacrifices. He didn't take that. See, Satan, he'll take anything because he that desperate for what? Worship. Most High, he ain't that desperate. He told you, look, I can make worshipers from rocks. Man, get out of here. Get out of here. Beat it. But during open ceremonies, athletes lined up before a giant statue of Zeus holding a thunderbolt and swore an oath to him in his temple at Olympia. So where would it? Let's look at Mount Olympus. Let's look at Mount Olympus. Let's look at Wikipedia. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. It says Mount Olympus. It says Greek, Romanized, Olympos. For modern Greek, transliterated to Olympos. It said it's the highest mountain in Greece. It is part of the Olympics massif near the Thermag Gulf of the Aegean Sea, located in the Olympus Range on the border between Thessaly and Macedonia in Greek territory. It says between the regions of Larissa and Perea, and southwest from Thessalonica. It says Mount Olympus has 52 peaks and deep gorges. We're going to skip down to the yellow down here. It said Olympus is notable in Greek mythology as the home of the Greek gods. So if you participate in Olympics, guess what you are doing? You in we know that you are in a religious festival, a religious ceremony to who? The Olympic gods, mainly who? Zeus. So let's go to the ancient games. Back to the first article that we were at. It said the first recorded ancient Olympics began in the year 776 and before the Common Era. Some say BC, before Christ. So they were doing this before Yeshua, and were held before he came, in the first century, I mean to say. It says the first recorded ancient Olympic Games began in the year 776 BC and were held in Olympia every 4 years for almost 12 centuries. The first 13 Olympic festivals hosted only one 600-foot race. Additional events were gradually added by the 5th century. The religious festival consisted of 5 days. The first day was devoted to religious sacrifices and rituals to who? Zeus, taking an oath, and the registration of athletes. On the 5th day, prizes were awarded and Thanksgiving sacrifices were offered to Zeus. The only award in the ancient games was an olive wreath. The olive branch was cut with a gold knife. The Greeks believed that the vitality of the sacred tree was transmitted to the recipient through the branch. I guess that's when, the Bible said they held the branch to the nose. Oh, they got a lot to do with that. That's another lesson. It says there were also unofficial prizes awarded by city/states like tax-exempt status. As their custom was, the Spartans, they did what? Introduced nudity to the Olympic Games in 720 AD. Nudity was common for male contestants to show off their perfect bodies. Women were not allowed to attend because the games were dedicated to Zeus, and the sanctuary of Zeus was a sacred area for men only. Women were allowed to participate in an alternative sport festival that honored the goddess Hera, the wife and sister of Zeus. This separate festival in honor of Hera included fast races for unmarried girls. Every 4 years, the victors could dedicate images, probably paintings, in groves to commemorate their victories, thus enabling them to take part in the sacrifice of cows in honor of Hera. After the 293rd Olympics in 393 AD, in a single edict, Holy Roman Emperor Theodosius, fearful of the continual popularity of these pagan or satanic festivals, abolished the games. What? He got rid of them. Why? They were banned because of their pagan rituals held in honor of the supreme god Zeus. Paganism ultimately destroyed the moral fabric of ancient Greece and is going to destroy the moral fabric of us today if we allow it. Yeah. They are. They get in there when they go, man, I want to thank God. They don't know they thanking Zeus. They think, and even if they are thanking the Most High, he said, don't do that to me, because that's the way they honor their gods. Watch this. So they ended. Theodosius said, they too pagan, get rid of it. The Roman dudes, they're too pagan, get it out of here, beat it. We don't need it no more. All right, so the second article, we're going to read about what they said. Around 400 CE, now it's a difference in their time. They said 393 AD. They says 400 CE and AD is the same thing. Madison, she know about that AD, but CE means the common era. AD is a Moine Domini, something like that, some Latin word. But the common era. Around 400 CE, the Roman Emperor Theodosius decided the Olympic Games were too pagan in nature and banned them completely. Why? It was I ain't gonna even get into all the freaky deaky stuff that was going on today. We just gonna lightly hint at it and let it be there. It's family friendly. They said this was part of the Roman Empire's shift towards Christianity. During Theodosius' youth, he was tutored by Bishop Ambrose of Milan. Theodosius passed a number of laws that were designed to eliminate Greco-Roman paganism completely. Didn't work because it's still here today. As well as doing away with the rituals and ceremonies and that celebrated the old pagan or satanic religions of Greece and Rome. To make Christianity the state religion, all vestiges of the old ways had to be eliminated, and that included the Olympic Games. So in 400 CE, 400 AD, what they do? Olympic Games gone. Somebody brought it back. Who brought it back? This dude right here, Baron Pierre de Coubertin. He brought it back. He brought the Olympics back. He look, never trust a dude who mustache look like that, by the way. Yeah, they do. And that's why people, these people that are in these fraternities and sororities, they have no idea what they're involved in. All that stuff is satanic. It might seem all nice and watered down now, but that's where it go back to. Get out of that stuff. It said, all right, let's go to the modern Olympic Games. Watch this. In 1894, now, and they say in around 400, see, so for 14, almost 1,500 years, there were no Olympics. But this dude, this Frenchman named Baron Pierre de Coubertin, promoted the reborn Olympics as a new, watch what he said, as a new civil religion, replete with symbols, tradition, rites, and ceremonies. He brought it back. It was the same year that the International Athletic Congress was formed in Paris and later became known as the International Olympic Committee or the IOC. This Congress gave tribute to who? The Greek god Apollo, god of purification, by singing the hymn to Apollo. So when they brought it back, they singing to another god. You should not be a part of this. As a result, after 1503, after 1,503 years of absence, the first modern Olympics were held in Athens, Greece in 1896. So when they started back up, they went right back to Athens, Greece. And the word Athens is named after Athena. That's a Greek goddess. Look her up. Women were first allowed to participate in the 1900 Paris Games. Even today, the equestrian events, that's with the horses, are the only ones where women and men compete as equals. In order to accommodate TV networks and audience, starting with the 1994 Lillehammer Games, it was decided that every other year would be an Olympic year, alternating with summer and winter games. They couldn't get enough. We need to make more money with this. But it says that, go back up, it says, I'm trying to tell y'all, this stuff is, woo. We see, most people, we don't read. We don't look this stuff up. We just see, oh, that looks nice. They're racing. Oh, that's great. But watch this. But it says when he brought it back that it was what? At the top it says a new civil religion replete with symbols. Replete, that's the word I'm looking for. But replete with what? Symbols, tradition, rites, and ceremonies. What does replete mean? Filled with, full, crammed, crowded, packed, jam-packed. He said the Olympics are jam-packed with what? Symbols, tradition, rites, and ceremonies. Look at some more of them. It says brim full, all the way to the top of the brim. It says loaded, overloaded, thick, solid, charge, abounding, jam-packed, it said chock-a-block, but chock full. I can't make stuffed, all of that. Look at that on your own. She said Kappa, Apple, whatever that is, sings Kappa Alpha Psi. They sing hymn to Apollo. I believe it. What are the rings for? I'm going to show you. That first article, we stand with that from the ancient Hebrew article. Watch this. It says, the flag logo rings. Introduced in 1908, the modern Olympic flag consists of 5 linked color rings on a white background. According to Lou White, Fossilized Customs, that's these books right here, Fossilized Customs, page 47. I got 3 editions of it. These are, man, they are more expensive now, but at first they were dirt cheap. Now, if folks waking up, they becoming higher and higher. But I have 3 different editions. They pretty much say the same thing, but this one is thicker. It has a little bit more in it. So, but these books are more. I gave a few people in the ministry one, just had it mailed to their house, paid for it. And see, here we give stuff out. We ain't trying to hog all this to ourselves. Just mailed it to some people. You know, I might mail some more to some other. I ain't gonna say when, but might just randomly do it. It says, watch this. It says, according to Lou White, Fossilized Custom, page 47, these rings represent the 5 original planetary deities worshipped in Babylon. I couldn't find nothing on that, but that is in his book. It says they also, and you better believe how many articles I was reading trying to find it. It says they also represent the 5 participating continents: red America, green Australia, black Africa, yellow Asia, blue Europe. Every nation of the world has one of these colors in its flag. The rings are joined together as a sign of unity and nationhood. These occultic rings are flashed across the television screen during all events. And just about every flag, I got a big flag, a big world map right here. I'm pointing at it right now. And they got all of the flags of the countries in the world, and they do have these colors in them. All of them have at least one of them. But watch this. But he said on page 47. So if you get one of these books, I went and found what page that was wrote on what Lou White said. In the 6th edition, it's on page 47. On the 7th edition, it's on page 56, and in the 12th edition, it's on page 112. Just in case you have the book, you say that ain't in there. It is. But let's look at it. So I'm gonna turn to page 47. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna see what Lou White said right here. 6th edition. I got it. I do the legwork for you. It says the Olympic Games today use 5 rings as a logo, representing the 5 original planetary deities worshipped in Babylon. In fact, it is still the customary to carry a torch lit by the sacred fire altar on Mount Olympus to the site of the games. That is true. It says where the games are held, an altar dedicated to Zeus is lighted with this torch. So all the nations and athletes who participate are unknowingly, I'm telling you, they don't know, but it's my job to let them know, unknowingly worshiping Zeus. That's why this book is titled Fossilized Customs, to open your eyes so that you can see them. The whole world follows after the beast through the fossilized customs. So you can see there are many ways we can be found practicing a lie and having a mark or outward sign of following the beast. Human traditions may appear innocent, but if you can easily trace their origins to ancient paganism, they are abominations. So let's go to, we dealt with the rings. Let's go to the oath. The oath, introduced in 1920, it says, in the name of all competitors, I promise that we shall take part in these. That we shall take, yes, wow, with a capital W or W. It says, in the name of, this is the oath. In the name of all competitors, I promise that we shall take part in these Olympic Games, respecting and abiding by the rules that govern them. In the true spirit of sportsmanship, for the glory of the sport and honor of our teams. Officials also have to take an oath while holding a corner of the Olympic flag. One official from the host country repeats a similar oath on behalf of all officials. However, this oath, no matter how good it may seem, it sounds so nice and yeah, camaraderie. No matter how good it seems, it is not to Yahweh, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but to the Greek god Zeus. Let's look up the word oath, because they take an oath. Oath. It says a solemn promise, often invoking a divine witness regarding one's future action or behavior. They took an oath of allegiance to the king. Allegiance? That sound, I pledge allegiance. Ooh, that's an oath. Vow, sworn statement, a promise, a pledge of what you gonna always do. A vow, affirmation, attestation, word of honor, word, bond, guarantee, troth. You, brother, now people might say, Brother Ronnie, you just said something about the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, I did. I don't pledge allegiance to nobody but Yahweh. I don't do. You're unpatriotic. No, I follow all of the laws of the land. I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I pay taxes. I just don't pledge to anything other than Yahweh. That's it. Let's see what Yeshua said about oaths. It says, Matthew 5:33, and I don't have no problem with people that do. You see what I'm saying? I follow all of the laws of the land that don't disagree with the Most High's laws. And I love and respect all people. That's what I do. But watch this. Again, ye have heard that it have been said by them of old time that thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shall perform unto the Lord thine oaths. Perform what? Unto the Lord thine oaths. You're not supposed to be making oaths to nobody but the Most High. You don't have no idea what you're doing when you just pledging your allegiance to any and everything, whatever you may be pledging allegiance to. But I say unto you, swear not at all. Yeshua said, don't take oaths at all. Don't do it. Because if you do it, you bound to them. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. I don't pledge allegiance to nobody. I don't disrespect this country at all. Don't do it. I enjoy the liberties and the freedoms that this country affords. I can worship the way I want to worship. Go over there to the Middle East and see if you can worship how you want to worship. It won't be well with you. That's a personal decision, Sister Luca. I can't tell you what to do. It says, Daniel 6:26. This is why I don't pledge allegiance. This is why I don't pledge allegiance to anything. This is why I don't. I don't care. I don't know about you. What I don't do. In Daniel 6:26, it says, and this is King Darius, he's making this decree. He said, I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the Lord God of Daniel. For he is the living Elohim and steadfast forever. And his kingdom, that which shall not be, his kingdom is the one that won't be destroyed. So if his kingdom is the only one that won't be destroyed, when he come back and you pledge an allegiance to whatever country you pledge an allegiance to, you against him. You against his kingdom. I pledge allegiance to the kingdom of heaven. That's the allegiance that I pledge. Don't have a problem with what everybody else do. I'm talking about me. This is my religious beliefs. This is my faith. This is what I believe. It says in the New King James, I like how the New King James said. It says in the yellow and blue, his kingdom is the one which shall not be. All the kingdoms of the earth ain't going to be like they are when Yeshua come back. Who you pledging your allegiance to? You see what I'm saying? So what we should do is the people that are here in America with us, give them the truth and let them pledge allegiance to the kingdom of heaven. Right? This what? I ain't pushing nothing on you. This me. Pay my taxes. You know what I'm saying? Do everything that the government asked me to do except that. So, but watch this. The medals. We're going to go to the medals. We dealt with the rings, the oath, the ceremony. Now the medals. Look at that. It's a Greek goddess on the medals that you win. Who is that? We're going to show you who that is today. And then in the background, you see the Parthenon right back there. You see the rings. We're going to show you what all that stuff mean today as well. All right, this is the one from this year in Tokyo. I went to this. I didn't Photoshop this. This came straight from Olympics.com, their site, the official Olympics site. But this right here is from Wikipedia. This is all I took some shots from all of the medals, who's on a lot of the medals from the different Olympics. In the 1896 Olympics, it was Zeus holding Nike, the goddess Nike, in his hand. Uh, in 1900 in Paris, France, it was just a winged goddess. It didn't say who that goddess was. In 1904 in St. Louis in America, it says it's Nike holding a laurel crown and a palm leaf. In 1908, it don't say. It says, and it was just athletes and two female figures. So we gonna skip. We gonna go to 2004 when it returned to Athens, Greece. Nike with the Panathenaic Stadium in the background. 2004, 2008, Nike. 2012, Nike. 2016, Nike. 2020, who on there? The goddess Nike is on those medallions, like I just showed you. There she is, to the left and to the right. Oh my goodness, I can't make this stuff up. So is Nike pagan? Somebody, what is Nike pagan? We gonna see. So is Nike pagan? Let's look up Nike. You can't wear Nikes. Be right back. You in Nashville, we gonna show you Nike. This is a temple of, I think this is Athena or Artemis, one of them. But in her hand, just like Zeus, her husband, she's holding what? She's holding Nike in her hand too. The goddess Nike in her hand. This is in Nashville, Tennessee, in a museum. Look at all them people in 1990 when it first opened trying to go in there. This stuff crazy. But look at this. This is Zeus. This is the temple of Zeus right here. This is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But he has Nike in his hand. So, but anyway, let's go. We just did that. But let's go back. Let's look at the Parthenon. This is also on the emblem. Let's go look at that. The Parthenon back there. What is that? That's the Parthenon. I told you that big statue that I showed you in Tennessee, this is where it is housed in. Right here, right in Nashville, in the state that I live in. But let's go to Parthenon. Let's see. It says the Parthenon. It says on the Athenian Acropolis dedicated to the goddess Athena, whom the people of Athens consider their patroness. Constructed in 447 BC when the Athenian Empire was peak of its power. We'll skip down, but it says, to the yellow, it says the Parthenon is regarded as a symbol of ancient Greece, a symbol of ancient Greece, democracy, like we live in a democracy today, and Western civilization. We ain't doing nothing but living in the modern day Greece. I went to college, folks. They like, you Greek? You know, that means, am I in a fraternity? I said, no, man. No, I ain't in that. No, I ain't in that. No, man. That just never interested me. I was always a lone wolf anyway. I didn't need no group to belong to. You know, I ain't have a lot of friends. I'm just gonna be real. I'm just gonna be real with you. I don't have a lot. I got a handful at best. But anyway, and then the friends that I do have, they think I'm antisocial. Oh, I just love these books. I just like to read, folks. But anyway, the last yellow, it said the Parthenon was converted into a Christian church and dedicated much later to who? The Virgin Mary. Do your own research. Let's look at this torch, folks. Let's look at this Olympic torch. Just look at it. All right. It says the eternal flame. It says the original flame burned continually on the altar of the goddess Hera. We already seen her. Holding who? Holding who? Nike. Introduced in the 1928 Amsterdam Games. It represents purity, endeavor for perfection, struggle for victory and peace and friendship. It also symbolized the light of spirit, knowledge, and life. The lighting of the flames parallels the ritual performed by Vestal virgins in the altar, in the ancient altar to Hera in Olympia, Greece. The torch was first introduced in the 1932 Los Angeles Games. Watch this. In 1932, in the LA Games here in America, it says it was lit from the sun B9 rays at Olympia, Greece. So they wait a minute. The games in Los Angeles, but they go to Olympia, Greece to light the torch and bring it to Los Angeles. It's crazy, man. If it's just symbolic, why you got to go all the way there? Just spark up the fire wherever you at. But it said it was lit from the sun B9 rays. Why I gotta be? Because it's sun worship, brothers and sisters. These folk worship Baal, the sun god, and stayed lit until the games were completed. There was no torch or relay in the ancient games. Why? Because they just worshiped the sun. So, torch relay. The torch relay was first instituted at the 1936 Berlin Games. Pay attention to Berlin. You know, in Germany, they're gonna come up big a little later. Oh, yes. Yeah. The original Nimrod, blacker than the ace of spades, blacker than the 10 of clubs. Yeah. So we want to blame everything on the white man. Man, black folks been cutting up, man. Stop playing. We all people are in trouble. We in trouble, and we need to get to the Most High on the double. Right? So watch this. Let's see. I'm gonna read that again. It said the original torch is lit at Olympia, Greece, and carried by relay to the whole city. At the whole city, an altar dedicated to Zeus is lit with this torch. The last runners carries the torch to the Olympic Stadium during the opening ceremony. Remember Muhammad Ali Day when he did it? Everybody was happy when he lit the torch. But that was part of the Olympic torch relay where they go and enlighten it. But anyway, the last runner carries the torch into the Olympic Stadium during the opening ceremony. The flame is then lit from the torch and remain lit until it is extinguished during the closing ceremony. The torch relay symbolizing the passing of the Olympic traditions from ancient games to modern games from one generation to another, thereby carrying with it all its pagan customs and what? Curses. The flame ignited in Olympia is kept in a lantern that travels with the relay. The lantern is closely guarded to ensure that the flame is never extinguished. A single torch, if Zeus is supposed to be this big time god, how come he can't keep it lit? A single torch is lit from the flame every morning for that day's relay. For the 1996 games, Isabel, Isis, a blue mascot was introduced. Izzy is a magical teenage character who lives in the world of the Olympics. But anyway, 1996 Atlanta, giving historical homage to Zeus, a portable silhouette. Oh, we're going to stop it right here, but I want to show you something else they did. This is when they did a portable silhouette to Zeus in the 1996 Olympics. I ain't going to read all of this. Hold on. I am going to read this. So in 1996, Atlanta, giving historical homage to Zeus, a portable silhouette temple with 50-foot pillars was it. Let me show you what it looked like. That's it right there. That's it right there in 1996. But it says, was erected for the opening ceremonies. A high priestess was also there to cast her silhouette in the front of the ceremonial lights. Where? Right there next to this guy with the discus right there. It says, 5 majestically dressed individuals were slowly elevated in the stands wearing pagan-looking gold sun disk masks. They introduced the first 5 Olympic colors representing the 5 continents. This was at the opening ceremonies. And now the 5 Olympic spirits awaken, calling forth the rebirth of the modern games. The background music was the eerie sounding guttural chant, and with its hypnotic music, the needed magical atmosphere was set in place for revival of the old pagan Olympic gods. The majestic music reinforced the pagan element. During the closing ceremony, the pagan Aborigines were also given center stage in the stadium. The Aborigines were well known for primitive occultic magic, nature worship, and polytheism. Aborigines have a strong magical tradition, believing they can communicate with the sacred beings, the sky gods, and the spirits of the dead. The Aboriginal sorcerer is called a Gadicha man. But all roads leads to the Olympics. Watch this. We getting it all done. We halfway done. Yeah, I don't know what it's all about. I just ain't in it. People can do what they want. But all roads leads to the Olympics. It said, this is the second article. It says athletes participated in events in the nude. Although there's no clear reason, and I'm gonna show you the reason why. Although there's no clear reason as to why this is the case, historian attributes it to a rite of passage for young Greek men. Nudity was important for the Greeks, and they weren't bothered by it. However, many other cultures of the time found it off-putting that the Greeks were oiling. What were they doing? Oiling each other up and then rolling around on a wrestling floor. The Egyptians buck naked doing that. Men. The Egyptians and the Persians felt that there was something a bit degenerate about the whole thing. While young women were allowed to attend the games, if they were brought in by their father or brother, married women never came to the festivities. But watch this. But prostitutes were everywhere at the Olympics and were often imported by merchants from far-off locations. A prostitute could make a significant amount of money during an event as big as the Olympics. Sometimes as many as 40,000 people showed up. So, but now that it fails in comparison. It'd be millions now watching worldwide, watching on TV, television, a vision shown from a far distance, television program to program you. A prostitute can make significant amount of money during an event as big as the Olympic Games. Wow. It says sometimes as many as 40,000 people showed up, so that was a lot of potential clients. Some of the prostitutes was Heratis, or high-priced escorts, but many were priestesses from temples dedicated to Aphrodite, the goddess of love. I'm gonna we ain't gonna dive deep into this, but homosexuality, militarism, and sports in ancient Greece. It says homosexuality and athleticism were said to have gone hand in hand in what? Ancient Greece. This is from an article called Homosexuality in Ancient Greece. If you want it, I can send it to you. It's like a 23-page long article. It's really good. Ron Grossman wrote in the Chicago Tribune. He wrote this. Ron Grossman wrote this in the Chicago Tribune. But he said, far from finding homosexual and athleticism mutually exclusive. He said, yeah, we ain't gonna say it's mutually exclusive. They were considered. They considered gay sex as an excellent training regimen and an inspiration for military valor. And Plato said, do I got a Plato book over here somewhere? Yeah, here we go. Plato's Republic. Read, folks. Read. But Plato said if there were only some way of contriving that a state or an army should be made lovers, they would overcome the world. And the movie 300, this is just a fun fact, by the way. 300, those 300 soldiers were said to have been homosexual soldiers. They made them, they was with their lover, because they said they will fight harder for the person next to them if it was their lover. Go look that up. Just ain't beat nobody over the head. Ain't nothing. I'm just quoting history, guys. Now let's go to the Apocrypha, because the Hebrews, they got caught up in some of this Olympic stuff. All right, let's go to First Maccabees 1:13 through 15, or the Greek customs they got into. It says, then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who? Antiochus Epiphanes, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen, or the nations, or the Gentiles. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves what? Uncircumcised. That's why they wrestle naked, because only Greek men can participate. And to prove that you were a Greek, they was uncircumcised. That's why they buck naked, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. What mischief? All of the mischief they were doing. Let's go to Josephus real quick. Antiquities 12.5.1. Watch this. This is the heading. This is not Josephus' scripture. This is the heading. It says, which is what Antiquities 12.5 is about to be about. It says, how upon the quarrels against one another about the high priesthood, Antiochus made an expedition against Jerusalem, took the city, and pillaged the temples, and distressed the Jews, as also how many of the Jews forsook the laws of their country, and how the Samaritans followed the customs of the Greeks and named their temple at Mount Gerizim. You ask most Christians, what's Mount Gerizim? They don't know. You go back to Deuteronomy chapter 27, you see, before they go into the land, you had half the tribes on Mount Gerizim and half the tribes on Mount Ebal. The blessings were pronounced for Gerizim. Samaritans, they were half-breed Hebrews, and they worship on Mount Gerizim, but they named their temple after Jupiter. That's in 12.5.1. We ain't gonna read that. We're just gonna read 12.5.1 to show you where the nakedness come from. We're gonna show you. It came from the Greeks. They ain't had no problem with nudity. You had to be a Greek to participate back then in the Olympics. But watch this. But in modern times today, they made it where anybody can participate. It ain't just the Greeks that's gonna be worshiping the devil. All right. Antiquities 12.5.1. And the sons of Tobias took the part of Millennius, but this is when they were trying to figure out, who was going to be the high priest and everything. You can read all this on your own. I'm just going to read the part we need. Onias died. His son, which was supposed to be the next high priest, was an infant, so he couldn't be the high priest. So they made this dude named Jesus or Yeshua. His name was actually Jesus. They made him the prince. They made him the high priest. But then some people took him away, and Antiochus took him from being the priest, and he made another dude the priest name, and shockingly, his name was Onias. But then Jesus changed his name to Jason. Onias changed his name to Manalas. All right? So you can go read that on your own. Just so you know, I have read it. I know what it says. All right, but watch this. But what they do, and retired to Antiochus, but Millennius and the sons of Tobias were distressed and retired to Antiochus and informed him that they were desirous to leave the laws of their country and the Jewish way of living according to them, and to follow the king's laws and the Grecian way of living. They wanted to be like Greeks. Wherefore they desired his permission to build a gymnasium at Jerusalem, and when he had given them leave, they also hid the circumcision of their genitals, and that even when they were naked, that they might appear to be what? Greeks. Accordingly, they left all the custom that belonged to their own country and imitated the practices of the other nations. Did the other nations participate in the Olympics? Yes. So they did too. Let's go to the Apocrypha, 2 Maccabees 4, chapter 4, 9 through 15. Watch this. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, talking about money. If he might, these are the same people we talking about, Jason, Millennius, which is Onias, and Jesus. All right, not the Messiah. That was a popular name amongst the Hebrews. Jesus is really Joshua or Yahshua. All right, here we go. Besides this, he promised to assign all 150 more if he might have license to set up a place for exercise and for the training of youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by name of the Antiochians, Antiochus Epiphanes, which then the king had granted, and he had gotten into his hand the rule. He forthwith brought his own nation to Greekish fashions, and all the royal privileges of special favor to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Eupolemus, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid. He took away, and he put down the governments which were according to the law. He brought up new customs against the law. For he built gladly a place of exercise, which we just saw in Josephus, under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection and made them wear a hat. Somebody, hat's a pagan. No, this is the hat they talking about. That's the kind of hat that the Greeks used to wear. This the hat they talk. Ain't talking about baseball caps. The people that take I see a hat. We shouldn't wear hats. Stop. All right, watch this. They made them wear a hat. Y'all are young men. Now such was the height of the Greek fashions and increasing heathenism manners through the exceedingly profaneness of Jason, or that dude named Jesus, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest, that the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise. They wanted to go do the Greek gymnasiums and stuff. After the game, watch this. And they stopped sacrifices to the Most High. You supposed to be priests to the Most High, offering the sacrifices for the people of Israel, but they left that and went to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus that's in the Olympics, called them forth, not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. Oh, we ain't through, but that's the hat they wore. Let's go to 2 Maccabees 6:1-9. Let's see what was going on. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens, in Greece, to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple of Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus. We're going to look and see who Jupiter is. And that in Gerizim, like in Antiquities 12.5.5, which we didn't read, I just told you about. In Gerizim, the Samaritans, what they do? They call their little temple of Jupiter, the defender of strangers. And they did desire that dwelt in their place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, and dallied with harlots, just like the Olympics said, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. Those Greek temples. Greek temple. So when Paul come around, this is how Paul be talking about, y'all. That we can eat all things lawful for me. Paul is talking, man, that's another class. And besides, they brought things in that were not lawful. The altar was filled with profane things which the law forbidded. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself to be at all to be a Jew. That's today. Nobody, well, that's them Jews. Them old Jews, they believe this. Right. Watch what else they do. And in the day of the king's birth, Antiochus Epiphanes' birth, every month they brought by bitter constraint to eat sacrifices. And when the fast of Bacchus, that's a Baal god, was kept. Do you see what these people were doing? They were just living like Greeks. Birthdays, just doing. When we doing it today. Oh, willy-nilly, don't know what we doing. Again, go back and we read this already. They said they were prostitutes. We saw the Israelites living just like these people. So is Zeus in your Bible? Yes, he's in your Bible. But we're gonna go with the Bible dictionary first before we get to the Bible. My go-to dictionary, Unger's Bible Dictionary. That's where I go. But let's look up Jupiter, because we saw the Hebrews name their temple after who? Jupiter. The Most High Temple, they call it Jupiter. Named it after Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter, the Latin form of the Greek Zeus. These Hebrew Israelites named the temple after Zeus. In the Italian mythology, Jupiter was the highest god in heaven, and identical with the Greek Zeus. Look over here to the right. This is the temple of Jupiter in Athens. Temple of Zeus. Jupiter is mentioned in Acts 14:12. We're going to look at that. In Acts 19, we're going to look at those too. But this is my next one. I got one right here called the Pictorial Bible Dictionary with a topical index. Jupiter, the chief of the Roman gods. The Greeks called him what? Zeus. And Zeus is who the Olympics honor. The people of Lystra called Barnabas Jupiter and Paul what? Mercury. I can't make this stuff up. But I told you Nimrod, Baal, they known by all these names. Baal, El, Belus, Ninus, Zeus, Jupiter, Ra, Vishnu, all these folks. I can't make this stuff up, guys. I can't make it up. Let's look at Semiramis, Nimrod's wife. Asheroth, Asarte, Rhea, Ishtar, that's Easter, Beltis, Aphrodite. We already about her in this lesson today. Well, these are just some of their names, guys. The son was named Bacchus. You can read this on your own. But let's go to Acts 14:8-18. We're gonna see this Zeus. What your Bible tell you about Zeus? What you should not be doing with who? Zeus. And there sat a certain man at Lystra, impotent in his feet, being a cripple from his mother's womb, who had never walked. The same heard Paul speak, who steadfastly beholding him, and perceived that he had faith to be healed, said with a loud voice, Stand upright on thy feet. And he leaped and walked. And said with a loud voice, Stand up on. He leaped and walked. Verse 11. And when the people saw that what Paul had done, they lifted up their voices, saying in the speech of Lycaonia, the gods are come down to us in the likeness of men. And they called Barnabas Jupiter, or who? Zeus. And Paul Mercurius, because he was the chief speaker. That Mercurius that's just Mercury. Then the priest of Jupiter, or Zeus, which was before their city, brought oxen and garland unto the gates, and would have done sacrifice with the people. We're going to see what happened, though. But before we do, let's look at Jupiter. It says that word is Zeus. Look down at the bottom. Jupiter or Zeus equals the father of helps. Zeus ain't helped me do nothing. All right, let's keep it going. Hermes is Mercury. That's what we ain't dealing with him today, but we just dealing with Zeus. Jupiter equals Zeus. Zeus equals Jupiter. Jupiter equals Zeus. Let's go to my second go-to Bible dictionary, the Smith Bible Dictionary. Jupiter, it means a father of helps. Like the Strongs just said, the Greek Zeus, the Olympian Zeus, was the national god of Hellenic race, as well as the supreme ruler of the heathen world, and as such formed the true opposite to Jehovah. Yahweh, Yahuwah. Jupiter or Zeus is mentioned in 2 passages in the New Testament. So there we go. We see it, guys. But we want to go to, I got my slides out of order. This one should be next, and then the one that's before this one. But watch this. Acts 14, continuing Acts 14, 8 through 18. Which then the apostles, they were about to sacrifice to Zeus or Jupiter, which then the apostles, Barnabas and Paul, heard of. They tore their clothes up. So if Paul and Barnabas was here today and see Christians or so-called followers of Christ participating in the Olympics, they would tear their clothes. It says, but we know people are ignorantly doing it. Baron de Coubertin, woo, brother, you in trouble if you didn't get it right with the Most High. He probably didn't. It says, when the apostles, Barnabas and Paul, heard of, they rent their clothes and ran in among the people, crying out and saying, Sirs, why do ye these things? We are also men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that you should turn from these vanities unto the living God, which made heaven and earth and the sea and all the things therein, who in past times suffered all nations to walk in their own ways. The Olympics is the nation's own ways. Nevertheless, he left not himself without witness, and that he did good and gave us rain from heaven and fruitful seasons, filling our hearts with food and gladness. And with these sayings, scarce restrained they the people, that they had not done sacrifice unto them. He said, Paul said, don't do this. Don't worship Zeus. When you do the Olympics, that's worship to Zeus. Let's go back to Josephus. I want to show you Flavius Josephus against Opinion. Josephus was trying to tell Opinion, who didn't like the Hebrew customs. Josephus was trying to tell him, the Hebrews, our custom better than a lot of people's. But I just want to show you that they had a temple called Zeus, though. This Dios, therefore, writes thus in his histories of the Phoenicians. Upon the death of Albanius, his son Hiram, the same Hiram Abif, that's big in Freemasonry, he took the kingdom. This king raised at the eastern parts of the city and enlarged it. He also joined the temple of Jupiter Olympius, or Zeus, which stood before in an inland by itself to the city. So Josephus was trying to say that Solomon was greater than his Hiram. I didn't put in all that in with Solomon, but he was just trying to say that the Hebrews are a great people. Go read it in Josephus. But they had a temple to Jupiter. Hiram Abif, the dude that's big in Freemasonry, who helped Solomon build a temple, he joined the temple of Zeus to whatever city of the Phoenicians. Watch this, though. Let's keep it moving. Let's go here. Let's see. We're going to see Paul. We're going to see Paul reading something about Zeus. Watch this. Then, but this is Areopagus, Mars Hills. Areopagus means Ares, one of which is Zeus's son. Areopagus is also called Mars Hill. But it says, then Paul stood in the midst of Areopagus or Mars Hill and said, ye men of Athens. Athens what? Greece. I perceive that ye too are superstitious or religious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him I declare unto you. God that made the world and all the things therein, seeing that he trying to tell them, this God Zeus who you worshiping, you really want to worship the Most High. Whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him I declare unto you. God that made the world and all the things therein, seeing that he is master of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worship with men's hand, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life, breath, and all things. And he hath made of one blood, all nation, ethnos, of men to dwell for on the face of the earth, and have determined the times before appointed, and the bounds of their habitation, that they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. Watch this. For in him we live, who? The Most High, and move and have our being. As a certain of your own poets have said, for we are all his offspring. Paul is telling these people, we're all the offspring of the Most High. We all were made from one blood. What blood? Adam. For as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is unto gold or silver or stone. They had what? A statue of what? Zeus, Jupiter, graven by art and man's device, and the times of ignorance the Most High winked at, but now commanded all men everywhere, every man, woman, child on the face of this earth, you better repent. Because he hath appointed a day in which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man whom he hath ordained. What man? Yeshua, Hamashiach, whereof he hath given assurance unto all men, and that he hath raised him from the dead. But Paul just said, your poets have said, for we are all his offspring. Paul read one of their poems called A Hymn to Zeus by the Sicilian poet Aratus. Where Paul quoted, wait a minute, Brother Ronnie can't go in Enoch. He can't go in Josephus. He can't go in the Septuagint, the Apocrypha, but Paul can go to a hymn to Zeus. Let's read a little bit of it. It says, most glorious of immortals, mighty God, invoke. This is to Zeus. Most glorious of immortals, mighty God, invoked by many a name, O sovereign king of universe nature, Paladin, the world is harmony with law, all hail. Talking about who? Zeus. Thee is it meet that mortals should invoke, for we thine offspring are, and soul of all things created that live and move on earth. Paul quoted right out of a hymn to Zeus. Paul was trying to tell them, stop worshiping Zeus and start worshiping the Most High. He said he allowed you to ignorantly do this for a while, but now all y'all need to repent. Who? Ye men of Athens. I'm going to tell y'all today, ye men and women of Athens. They say, what's the old saying? When in Rome, do like the Romans. No, don't do like the Romans. Do like Yahweh, Yeshua. Oh my goodness. Watch this. Let's go. Let's see. We're going to see Satan's seat. Zeus is really Satan, folks. If you worshiping Satan, if you worshiping Zeus, you worshiping Satan or Baal. Revelation 2:2-14. Watch what it said. We almost done. And the angel to the church, this is John writing. It says, unto the angel to the church of Pergamos, and Christ is saying this, right, these things said he that hath the sharp sword with two edges. He says, the Most High, Yeshua said, I know your works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat or Satan's throne is. And behold, thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith, even those days, watch this, even in those days wherein Antipas, my favorite martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. what Satan's throne was. Where? This in Pergamos. This in Greece. Modern day Turkey. But they was worshiping Zeus. I'm gonna show you that. He said, but I have a few things against thee, because there are them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornications. But you said, Brother Ronnie, you can't turn Satan's seat into throne. Yes, I can. All the other modern versions said Satan's throne. Really, just read that on your own. His throne. It's the altar of Zeus in Pergamon. That Pergamos. Watch this. The altar of Zeus in Pergamon, Turkey, the throne of Satan. Watch this. The site, this site is called what is it called? voyageturkey.net, I think, or something like that. But this is the altar of Zeus, also called Pergamon altar, is a monumental structure built in memory of the victory of the Pergamon kingdom against the Galatians. That's in the Bible. The Gaul people, the Celtic people. The author of Pergamon, referred to as the throne of Satan in a short narrative in the Revelation section of the book of St. John, is a very impressive structure. But what is the altar of Zeus? Let's go look at another one. It says Zeus altar. Now, I told you, remember Berlin, because this throne of Satan is this right here is now where? In a Berlin museum today. If you go to Berlin today, you can see it. It says Zeus altar exhibited in Berlin Museum. Now, Yeshua back here just said Satan's seat there. He mad at these people. They killed his martyr there. We're going to show you how they killed him too. Ooh, watch this. It said the temple was a very impressive piece of work with this architectural style, was dedicated to the god Zeus in commemoration of the of Attilos II against the Galatians during the period of blah, blah, blah. The altar was dedicated to the goddess Athena and all other gods, as well as to who? Zeus. This is the statue today in a Berlin museum. Some people going over there sitting on it, taking pictures with it. But you talking about, ain't nothing wrong with the Olympics. Ain't nothing wrong with the Olympics. It is something wrong with the Olympics. It's to Zeus. Yeshua got a problem with it. The Most High got a problem with it. If they got a problem with it, I got a problem with it. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care. I'm just going to give you the truth. Satan's throne. This is, I forgot what site I got. Oh, I think I got this. I forgot where I got it from. I'll email it to you. But anyway, Satan's throne. This is an article. It says the altar was probably dedicated to Zeus and Athena. What? That's all you got to see. But if you don't believe them, believe what is it? Gordon Robinson, Pat Robinson's son from the 700 Club. Believe him. The seat of Satan, ancient Pergamon. Notice, you see that bull right there? It's not a video. I just a screenshot. But it said, watch this. It looks just like Baal, because that's all it is. Baal worship. But look at that temple right there. All right. But let's go to their article. I got some snippets out of the 700 Club article. Watch this, because people, they'll listen to Gordon and Pat Robinson. They'll listen to them. They won't listen to me, but they'll listen. But it said the people of Pergamon were well-known temples of Asia. The city had 3 temples dedicated to the worship of the emperor, another for the goddess Athena, and the great altar of Zeus, the king of the Greek gods. Many scholars believe, not just Brother Ronnie, but scholars too, this is the altar. This altar is the throne of Satan mentioned in the book of Revelation. Antipas was sentenced to death on the altar of Zeus. He was what? Let's see how. Most of the altar still survives today, and surrounding it are the world's most famous marble friezes. They depict the Gigantomachy, or the war between the Greek gods and the giants. At the top of the altar was a hollow bronze bull designed for human sacrifice. This guy named Renner wrote a book. He said describes the method of execution suffered by Antipas. You know, this dude that Yeshua said, y'all kill him. Yeshua said Antipas was my faithful martyr, and the Greeks at the altar of Zeus killed him. How? This is what they did. They would take the victim, place him inside of the bull, and they would tie him in such a way that his head would go into the head of the bull. Then they would light a huge fire under the bull, and as the fire heated the bronze, the person inside of the bull would cry slowly, begin to roast to death. That's what they did to Antipas. You say you all out for Christ. Are you willing to go that all out for him? As the victim would begin to moan and cry out of pain, his cries would echo throughout the pipes in the head of the bull, so it seemed to make the bull come alive. Even in the midst of the flames, the elderly bishop Antipas died praying for his church, which was in Pergamos. They burnt this man alive. Man. All right, let's go to 1 Timothy, because they say, well, the Olympics is all about exercise and athleticism and all that. Yeah, that's all. Let's see what Paul said in 1 Timothy 4, 6 through 11. We almost done. Paul said to Timothy in a letter, if thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, brethren, I'm putting y'all in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Yeshua, not a good minister of Zeus. Nourish up the words of the faith and of good doctrine, whereunto thou hast attained. But refuse profane and old wise fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness. He said, you want to be godly. He said, for bodily exercise, all this lifting weights and all that, he said, that profited little. But godliness is profitable unto this. Bible is the most profitable thing. It says, having a promise of life that is now and of that which is to come. The victory, the true Nike. In the Hebrew, it's emeth, E-M-E-T-H. The truth. And what is the truth? Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. This is a faithful saying and worthy of all acceptation. For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the living God, not Zeus. The living God, who is the Savior of what? Some men. All men, especially of those that believe. These things command and teach. Go to Revelation. Because what the old Olympics folk were racing for, they was racing for a reef. Today Olympics, they racing for endorsements. They racing for what? They racing for gold medallions with Nike on the front of them, or Zeus or whoever on them. But watch what Christ says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly, and hold fast that which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. That's the crown we want. Him that overcometh, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my God, not the temple of Zeus. Let's keep it moving. But he said, you keep my word. He said, I'll keep you. But what does keep mean? Shamar. He said we supposed to guard his word. Keep his word is to properly to hedge about, as with thorns. That is to guard. We got to guard his word. Generally to protect, to attend, be circumspect, beware, be circumspect. That's the Hebrew form of that. But let's look at the Greek, which he just said in Revelation, is tareo. It means the same thing. To guard from loss or injury. We got to guard this law. Folks and threw it out. It says properly by keeping an eye on. We got to keep our eye on his word. It says, and thus differing, which is properly to prevent from it. We got to prevent his word from escaping. It says, which implies a fortress or full military. We got to put a full military around this word. But anyway, he said we after some crowns. That's what we after, crowns. Let's look at these Christian or these crowns or rewards of Christ. It says 1 Thessalonians 2:19. Paul saying most of this. It says, for what is our hope or joy or crown of rejoicing? We want a crown of rejoicing when we get the ultimate victory over death. when we are resurrected and have immortal bodies? For what is our hope or joy or crown of rejoicing? Are not even ye in the presence of our Lord Yeshua at his coming? That's the crown we want, a crown of rejoicing. 2 Timothy 4:7-8. Paul, for I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course of my race. I have kept the faith or guarded the faith. Tareo the faith. Put a military apparatus around the faith, which is his commandments. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness. What's righteousness? It's scrolling. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Paul said he's striving for a crown of righteousness. Y'all better stop lying on Paul. Today, it's an uprising of people that's out there making videos calling Paul a false apostle. They just don't understand his writings. They confused. Go watch our Paul class. It said, James, watch what he said. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive a crown of life. If you obey, you get a crown of life, because the wages of righteousness is eternal life. The wages of sin is death. 1 Peter 5:4. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, that's Christ, he's the chief shepherd, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Glory! Voice is leaving me. 1 Corinthians 9:25-26. Now, Paul said, now ye know that they which run a race, not the Olympic race, run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain what? The crown of rejoicing, the crown of righteousness, the crown of life. I'm trying to tell y'all, crown of glory. It says that you receive the prize. So run that ye may obtain it. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible crown. Meditate on these scriptures, folks, when you feel yourself getting weak and you about to give up. Think about the crowns. So the Olympics, again, I'm going to just give you a quick reminder. At the heart, the games were religious festivals and a good excuse for Greeks from all over the Mediterranean basin to gather for a riotous barbecue. On the middle day of the festival was a vast number of cows slaughtered in the honor of Zeus, king of the Greek gods. Once he had been given a small taste, the rest was for the people. For the first 250 years, all the action took place in the sanctuary of Olympia, situated in the northwestern Peloponnese, pockmarked by olive trees, from which the victory wreaths were cut, and the featuring an altar to Zeus. It was a hugely sacred spot, sacred spot. I believe that's what they were trying to say, or a scarce spot. I think they're supposed to be sacred. The games lasted 5 full days. They didn't lengthen them out for money these days to 2 weeks. The games lasted 5 full days by the 5th century BCE, and saw running, jumping, and throwing events, plus boxing, wrestling. Mind you, they was naked. At least 40,000 spectators was packed the stadium each day at the height of the games' popularity in the 2nd century AD, with many more selling their wares outside. About money. That's what it's about. But first, here are our 10 favorite facts to get you started. All athletes, they was bucket naked. Just telling you, get out of that stuff. Now, I'm near the end of my presentation. Now, you might have something that say, yeah, I hear you. The Olympics, they come from paganism. They used to be satanic. But today, we, no. Because if I did this to you, this is a toilet right here. That's a toilet. I could go to Home Depot, get a brand new toilet, never been used on. We're going to use it for a punch bowl, and we're going to serve our food out of it. You going to look at me like I'm crazy. You ain't, man, it's a toilet. Boo-boo and doo-doo go in there. Or as my daughter say, Daddy, say number 2. Number 2 go in there. It's a restaurant in Taiwan, for real. They serve food in toilets. How disgusting. But them videos wrong about Paul though, Sister Luca. He's not a false apostle. They don't know what they talking about. All right. But look at it. You wouldn't do this. Why? Because that's a toilet. I'm telling you that the Olympics is like this toilet. It was disgusting. You can't clean it up. People would not eat out of a clean toilet that came straight from Home Depot. Nobody ever even used it before. You would say, man, get out of here with that. But look at these folks. This mad. These people in Taiwan, they eating out of them. Look at this. People even making. If somebody made punch in they toilet, you wouldn't eat that. You wouldn't do that. Same thing with the Olympics. Leave it alone. It's nasty. No matter how good they try to make it today. See, they making it like a clean toilet from Home Depot. They see this is what we do now. No, it's to Zeus. It's always been to Zeus. It's Satan's Feast of Tabernacles. Even then, even now, you know, this is a crack pipe and a strip club. And, oh, I give your child a crack. No. This is no longer a crack pipe. It's a straw, you know, you can drink out of. You're going to say, man, get that out of here. Get that out of here. Same thing with the Olympics. You can't clean it up. You know it. This is a strip club. You know, no church wouldn't have they service at no strip club. This used to be a strip club. They wouldn't do it. But you cleaning up the Olympics like that. This is how the stream I gotta go to show you. Leave it alone. It's the worship to Zeus. We only got two more after this. Revelation 18, 1 through 9. And after these, I'm telling you, come out of this stuff, folks. Come out of this stuff. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power. And on the earth was lighted with his glory. This one angel light the whole earth. What you think Yeshua gonna do? And when the Most High come down here, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is falling. It's falling. By the time the Olympics came up, these are the Greek people, but Alexander the Great conquered the whole world. And as he did, he swallowed up all their religions, folks. Babylon the Great is what? Fallen. It's fallen. It's become the habitation of demons, devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. This angel coming out of heaven in the end times, telling you that some birds are still unclean. He must then get the memo that Jesus made all meats clean. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath. Yes, today, all nations flocking to the Olympics. Giving worship to who? Zeus. and when I'm gonna skip down to 4, he said, I heard another voice from heaven saying, what? Come out of her, my people. Are you his people? If you his people, get out of that. Not only the Olympics, but all the other pagan mess. And I'm gonna tell you, don't believe nothing I say today till you go check behind me. Check behind me. Because her sins, who? Babylon, her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she have filled to the double. Now, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she hath said in her heart, I sit a queen. That's the queen of heaven. Watch our queen of heaven class. Am no widow. Nimrod has been resurrected as Tammuz, she would say, and shall see no sorrow. But Nimrod is Zeus. Semiramis is Athena. And Bacchus is Tammuz. All of that stuff, you worshiping when you're doing all these things. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Because don't be a part of Satan's tabernacles. You won't be a part of Yeshua's tabernacle when he come back. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep what? His Feast of Tabernacles. Brothers and sisters, I hope I have showed you today that the Olympics, you shouldn't have nothing to do with them. You shouldn't have nothing to do with them. And you know, pass the word, spread the word. Now, if it's on TV, you just have to catch a glimpse or something. I mean, it is what it is. But if you just got to say, I got to watch the Olympics, stay away from them opening and closing ceremonies. I'm gonna tell you that. Stay away from that. Stay away from that. She's trying to overcome the food, and some people just nasty. Man, a restaurant, man, stop, cut it out. Y'all playing. But brothers and sisters, this ain't meant to beat nobody on the head. It's just letting you know what's what. If you whatever, you got 2 to 4 years to decide what you gonna do. What you gonna do. But guys, if you need prayer, contact us at rapministries.org. It's on the screen. And hit the contact us, and you send an email with your prayer request. I'll get back to you within 48 hours. Brother Woody, we see you. We see you. Thank you for coming on in today, brother. But you know, if you send us something, a message, we'll get back to you within 48 hours. And and trust me, brother Ronnie get a lot of emails. So if I miss you, I'm still gonna get to you. Ask everybody. It'll be nobody in there that has reached out to us that I have responded to everybody. Everybody. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, Shouty? Leave it alone. All right, guys. Also, just I want to remind you guys, just be a light. Just be a light. Don't be super duper religious. Be a light. Be kind to people. Be diplomatic when how you talking to them. Don't go beating them upside the head. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Try to be compassionate when you're dealing with people on these things. Try to be compassionate. Also, guys, share this video with other people. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share this stuff. Put it on your Facebook if you want to. Also, little bow wow. Yeah. But also I want to thank everybody for all the donations you have been sending, especially this past last week. It's appreciated. That's how come we was able to feed folks. We was able to feed folks and have a nice baptism because of your donation. So if you want to donate, be blessed by what you're hearing, and you just want to be a blessing to the ministry and help us build a tabernacle that we believe in for, just go to rapministry.org and hit donate and donate whatever you want. No ties. Ask the people that came in from Ohio. I ain't take up no ties. It's a bucket up front. If you want to give, you give. If you don't, you don't. So thank everybody. We back on the air. I'm gonna try to get that baptism the baptism class. I'm gonna reteach it and I'm gonna post it, and that'll be our Wednesday Bible study. I'm not gonna promise it, but it'll be. I'm gonna try to get it up there Wednesday. It won't be live. It's just me reteaching what I taught at the last baptism. So if there is nothing else, guys, be an ambassador, be kind to your neighbors, and I'll see you next time. Peace and blessings. Shabbat shalom to everybody, and I'll see you next time. Love you all. Peace. Hallelujah.